Hi, my name is Shari Dunn, and I am the author of Qualified, right here, How Competency Checking and Race Collide at Work. It's also behind me right there. So you might wonder, what is this book about? What is this all about? Well, I wrote this book because what I saw in the workplace as a consultant was that Black people specifically, and other people of color and women, were bearing a higher, harder bar and standard to get a job, advance in a job, and keep a job. And this is the professional level, it's mid management. And I was seeing this over and over and over again. So I decided I had to document this and figure out what was going on and how we could address it. And so what I came to was that there was something going on, and I call it competency checking. The ways in which people consistently check you as a Black person specifically for your competency. And in the book, I talk about three primary ways competency checking shows up. The first is the assumption, where people assume that you are intellectually inferior and that you don't have knowledge or skill. And in the book, I talk about that. It shows up basically as if someone assumes consciously or unconsciously, right, that you do not have the skills, knowledge, or ability, they're going to pay more attention, let's say, to your interview process. And then once you have a job, they're going to pay more attention to your work. You are subject to higher scrutiny and micromanagement. The second way competency checking shows up is the expression of surprise. How do you know that? Where did you learn that? In ways that other folks do not have. You know, I personally have a law degree. I have a background in law, have worked many different types of jobs, have lived all over the country. And I suppose the question would be, for certain things, how wouldn't I know that, right? Not how do I know that? And so what I found when I interviewed folks for this book, because I interviewed people across different disciplines, academia, nonprofit work, for-profit work, different regions of the country here in the United States. And what I found was the very same things playing out. And the third way competency checking shows up is activation. Activation is fear of Black leadership, feeling threatened, insecure, uncertain. You hear that in the workplace a lot. And I describe it as an autoimmune level rejection of Black leadership. It's as if the workplace or the system comes alive to push out this foreign presence, right? So for the UK, what I found is that looking at the data for the book, that there were so many similarities between the UK and the US, specifically data around Black women and other women of color in the workplace feeling frustrated and flustered and diverted by the impact of their race and cultures in the workplace. And so I'm excited to bring this book to you. I'm excited to explain more about competency checking, tie it to the similarities in the UK, Canada, France, and other regions. Really anywhere, to be honest, colonialism went, you are going to find some elements of competency checking. So looking forward to chatting with y'all, and see you soon.